Alright, in this problem, we have to find the graph that best describes the situation, okay? The situation is this: Mr. Jones began filling the pool at a constant rate. He turned off the water for a while, then he turned the water back on at a slower constant rate. Then he turned it off again for a while. Then he turned the water back on at the first rate. Which graph best represents Mr. Jones filling the pool? Well, since the first point and the last point are exactly the same, we're looking for the first line and the last line to have the exact same angle or slope.
Correct.
So, he also turned the water off for a while. Because he turned it off, that means the line is just going to go flat. The third point, he turned the water back on at a slow constant rate, means the slope is going to be less steep. So we look at A. These two look like the same rate. It's flat for points 2 and 4. The middle is a less steep line. So that is the answer, is A. Any questions? Question 24 is about a translation. Okay, they tell you that X is at 7, 11, Y is at 9, 14, and Z is at 8, 7. They want you to translate it so that the new coordinates of X prime are 5, 11. So that means X is going to go from here to 5, 11 is here. Okay? So as you can see, all we did was move it 2 places to the left. Okay? So they want to know what Z is. Well, for translations, where you move 1 point, it's how you're going to move the other. So we're going to move Z 2 points to the left. So the new coordinates are 6, 7, which is the Campaign soup, which contains 75 total ounces of beans. The soup has 2 kinds of beans, black and red. There are 4 times as many ounces of black beans as red beans. How many ounces of red beans are in the soup? Even though this makes 2 points like the other problems we did in the past, and that leads you to think it's a system, this is not a system question. Okay, it's a simple algebraic question. Okay? Red beans are going to be your X. Since there are 4 times as many black beans as red beans, black is going to be 4X, because it's 4 times as much. Now, since the total number is 75, all you got to do is X plus 4X equals 75. X plus 4X is 5X. And to find out what X is, we simply divide everything by 5. X equals 15. Now, since we want red beans, we can stop here. If they wanted black beans, then we're going to have to insert 15 where the X is, and 4 times 15 would be 60. Alright, in this one you have a circle, a square, that has also been broken up into a triangle and 2 trapezoids. Okay? The figure below shows a square inscribed in a circle. The area indicated in it is 2.5 square units. What is the approximate area of the circle? Okay. So, here here we have a circle. As you can see, they have a radius but no number for us. They have a side of the square called S. And then as you can see, it is a triangle inside. Okay, does everybody see that?
Yes.
Okay. So the area of each of these two pieces together is first of all, the only thing they tell you that this whole part right here, okay, is 2.5 square units. So what we're going to do is divide this into equal pieces all the way around. Okay? So we're going to take the radius here and we're going to extend it from here all the way through. Same thing with this radius all the way through. Okay? And then we're going to go straight up and down. And then straight up, across. So we got 8 equal pieces. Okay? If you notice, 5 of them are shaded. Okay? 5 out of 8 are shaded. So it's 5 over 8 equals, we know the whole thing is 2.5, and we're trying to find what each piece will be. Okay? So we got 2.5 over x. Now, all we gotta do is cross multiply. 8 times 2.5 is 20 equals 5x. X equals 4. Alright, so each of these pieces are 4. If you look, the triangle where the radius is at is 2 of these pieces, which is 8. Okay? Alright, so we're going to do the Pythagorean theorem because of this right triangle. Does everybody see that right triangle? Okay? So, each side, if the area is 4, each side is going to be 1. So we're going to do 1 plus 1 equals r squared. Okay? Remember, it is Pythagorean theorem. 1 squared plus 1 squared is r squared. So that's 2 equals r squared. You're going to have to calculate because there's no such thing as a square root of 2. Okay? But on your calculator, if you did the square root of 2, it would be 1.414. Okay? Alright, so after that, that's your radius, yes. Alright, so our radius is 1.414. Because he wants to find the area of a circle, that means we got to use the circle formula. Circle formula is pi r squared. We said that r was 1.414. So we're going to do pi times 1.414 squared. And that gives us 6.3. Which is, well, it's really 6.28 something, but rounding it, it's close to 6.3. And number 27, since you have to find the perimeter of the shape, you will have to use the distance formula. Now, if you notice in this problem, 2 of the sides, PQ and QR, you will not do the distance formula since they are perfectly vertical and horizontal lines. You can just count those 2 sides. So P, and then you start P and you count over. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So PQ is 8 units. QR, so Q, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 units. For side SR and PS, you're going to have to use the distance formula. So, PS, you're going to use the distance formula. Distance equals x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Remember, the distance formula is nothing more than a Pythagorean theorem for the coordinate grid. Okay? So P is at -2, 8, and S is at -5, 0. So I'm going to do -2 minus a -5 squared plus 8 minus 0 squared. -2 minus a -5 is a +3 squared plus 8 minus 0 is 8 squared. That gives us 9 plus 64. And again, you will have a calculator on this part of the test. So the square root of 73 equals 8.5 approximately. We're going to do the same thing for side SR. R is at 6.2. So I'm going to switch colors here. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the plug-in part. So we have 6 minus a -5 squared plus 2 minus 0 squared. So that gives us 11 squared plus 2 squared. 11 squared is 121. 2 squared is 4. So we got to find the square root of 125. And the square root of 125 is approximately 11.2. So we're going to add up 8.5 plus 11.2 plus 8 plus 6. And that gives you 33.7, which is big. So don't forget the last step of adding all your sides together to find your perimeter. This problem is a basic volume problem. First step, draw yourself a picture. Cylinder looks like a pen. It tells you that the cylinder is 20 inches long and has a diameter of 10 inches. Okay? If you will recall, volume of any cylinder or prism is B equals big B times A. But big B has to be replaced with the appropriate area formula. Since the faces are circles, we're going to replace big B with pi r squared. So we have pi r squared times 8. So we're going to multiply pi times the radius, and they give us diameter. So to find the radius, all we got to do is cut the diameter in half. So r equals 5. So we have pi times 5 squared times 20. And again, on your calculator, all you got to do is multiply those things all together, and you will get approximately 1,570. For this problem, you need to look at the trend between the number of DVDs sold and the number of DVDs rented. As you can see, when 25 was sold, 50 was rented. The next week, the number sold went up, but so did the number rented. Third week, it went down a little bit. for sold. It also went down a little bit for rented. Week 4, it went down to 22. It went way down to 48 for rented. And when it went down to 5 for sold, it went down to 28. So when sold was up, rented was up. When sold was down, rented was down. So this answer is positive. Remember, positive means when one goes up, the other one goes up. When one comes down, the other unit comes down. Negative means when one goes up, the other one comes down. And when the first variable goes down, the second variable goes up. In number 30, you have to find the area of this triangle. Now, area formula of the triangle is area equals 1/2 base times height. We have the height, but we do not have the base. But as you can see, this is a right triangle, and they give us the hypotenuse. So, since this is a right triangle, we're going to switch over to the Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus b squared equals c squared. We need to find the base of this shape, and then we can find the area. So, we see that A is 3 squared. It doesn't matter. You can call 3 the A or B. As long as you have 5, then C is 5 is the hypotenuse. So we have 9 squared plus B squared equals 25. Sorry, 9 plus B squared equals 25. We're going to subtract 9 on both sides. B squared equals 16. That means B equals the square root of 16, which is 4. So our base is 4. Once we know our base, then we can do our area formula. Area equals 1/2 base times height, 1/2 times 3 times 4, and that will give us 6 meters squared, which is big. Also, if you know or remember that the 3, 4, 5 is a famous right triangle, you can see the 3 as a leg and 5 as a hypotenuse, you already know the base should be 4. We're trying to find the best line that fits this set of data. So first, let's look at the data. Okay? If you notice, as the elevation goes up, the temperature comes down. So what we're dealing with here is a negative slope. Since we already know this is a negative slope, we can eliminate B and C as possible answers. And now we're going to do the math, okay? If you look up here, remember, the first column is your x, the second column is your y. We already know that the slope is going to be negative 1/25 just from the answers they give us. If you look, remember, the slope equation is y equals mx plus b. Y equals negative 1/25 x. Now we're looking for b. You've got to remember, b means your y-intercept. Your y-intercept must begin with a 0. The only point up there that begins with a 0 is 0.75. So that means your b is going to be 75. And since it's a positive 75, that means your equation is going to be y equals negative 1/25 x plus 75. And the answer is A. In this problem, Mary's collecting data about how many commercials he saw while watching TV. And then she drew a scatter plot, and she drew. drew also the line of best fit. They want you to find out how many commercials will you see if you watch just 1.5 hours of TV. Well, first thing you need to look at is this graph. Time is in minutes, not hours. So the first thing you're going to do is convert 1.5 hours into how many minutes? Well, each hour is 60 minutes, so half an hour is 30. So that will give us 90 minutes. Okay? So we are looking at this vertical line right here. Now, we want to know, according to a trend line or a line of best fit, how many minutes is that? The easiest thing to do is to extend this trend line. Okay, so this will be low. And you're counting by ones. So this will be 21, this next one will be 22, and 23, 24, and so on. If you extend it up, the answer you will see is D, 27. Just extend the trend line and your vertical line until they meet. In this problem, we're comparing Alethea with Melissa. Okay? Alethea did jumping jacks, and in 1 minute she did 30, 2, 63, 94, 120, and so on. As you can see, she is doing a constant rate of 30 per minute. Now, if you look at Melissa's, again, you got to pick, hers is constant. So if you find 8 points on her graph, you can figure out how many she did per minute. The only one that's perfectly at a corner of a point is 4 100. So you're going to do 100 divided by 4, which equals 25 per minute. Okay? So the difference between 25 and 30 is 5. And Alethea did 5 more jumping jacks per minute than Melissa. So the answer is D. In this problem, we have a coordinate grid that's acting like a map. We want to draw a line that connects town hall and the post office. So I'm going to go ahead and draw a line that connects the two. And he wants to write an equation for the line. Well, equation of the line is y is mx plus b. So we need to find the slope and the y-intercept. To find the slope, when they give us 2 points, you're just going to use your slope formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. When you look at your points, the post office is at -3, 7, and the town hall is at +5, +6. So we're going to do 6 minus 7 over 5 minus a -3. 6 minus 7 is a -1, 5 minus -3 is a +8. So our slope is going to be y equals a -1/8x. Now we need to find B, y-intercept. Again, remember, y-intercept means that x equals 0. We're trying to find that point of x if you look on your graph, x equals 0 between 6 and 7. Okay? So it's going to be 6 point something or 6 and something x. Okay, to find that point, all we're going to do is pick one of our 2 points to use. So plug in our y and our x. I'm going to use the point for town hall. Since it's positive, it's easier to work with positive numbers than with negative numbers. So y is equal 6, and x is equal to 5. Okay, so 6 equals negative 1/8 times 5 is a negative 5x plus b. Okay, to find b, it says minus 5x, we're going to make it plus 5x on both sides. That gives us 6 and 5x equals b. As you can see, the answer choices are improper fractions, so we need to turn this into improper fraction. So we're going to do 6 times 8, which is 48, plus 5. 48 plus 5 is 53. So we have 53 over 8 equals b. So our final equation is going to be y equals our slope, which is negative 1/8x plus 53 over 8. And that answer is B. In this problem, we have 2 different containers, and we need to compare their rate of change. Both of them are constant. So once again, to figure out the gallons per minute, all you gotta do is look how many gallons versus minutes. Okay? In this case, in 10 minutes, we can have 2 gallons. So we have 2 over 10. This is gallons per minute. Equals 1/5, which as a decimal equals 0.2 gallons per minute. If we look on this side, we can use any point since it's constant. I'm just going to do 4 over 10, which equals 2/5, which equals 0.4 gallons per minute. Okay? And they ask you, what's the difference between the 2? Well, to find difference, all you got to do subtract 2/5 minus 1/5. That gives us 1/5. So the difference in rate of change between the 2 is 1/5 gallon per minute. This is a system of equations. Okay, they give you 2 equations with 2 unknowns. First one says 2x plus 4y equals 0. Second one says y equals 1/2 x minus 3. Since they tell you what y is in the second equation, all we're going to do is plug this in for y in our first equation. So we have 2x plus 2y plus 4y equals 0. So instead of y, we're going to say 4 times 1/2 x minus 3 equals 0. Okay, so we have 2x plus 4 times 1/2 is 2. And 4 times a minus 3 is a minus 12 equals 0. Okay, we combine like terms, so we have 4x minus 12 equals 0. Add 12 to both sides. 4x equals 12, then this x equals 3. So the answer is D. In 37, they want you to tell them which table shows y as a function of x. So we're going to look at our x's. If an x repeats, remember, it can only go with one y. It's like a date. Girls, one guy. Okay? So, as you can see here, the first one, 2 is going out only with 5. It is also going with 3, so therefore it's not a function. In B, we have 5 going with 2, but 5 is also going with 4, not a function. C, none of the x's repeat. And D, again, -1 is going with both 3 and 5. Therefore, the only one that's a function is C. 38, we gotta give them a equation that has a greater rate of change. Remember, rate of change is another word for slope. So, first thing we're going to do is find the slope of this table. Again, you can pick any 2 points to give you your slope. So I'm just going to stick with the first 2. Slope is equal to y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I'm going to do 3 minus 2 over 6 minus 4. 3 minus 2 is 1, 6 minus 4 is 2. So our slope is 1/2. Okay? We could already eliminate C and D. If you look at D, our slope here is 1/4. That is less than 1/2. So we know we can eliminate that. And C, it is equal to 1/2. So again, we can eliminate that. Now, to find the slope for A and B, again, the formula is y equals mx plus b. So we got to get y by itself. So step 1 is move this 3x. It's positive, so when it comes over, it becomes a negative. So we have a negative 5y equals negative 3x plus 25. To get y completely by itself, we have to divide everything by a negative 5. So we get y equals a negative 5 into a negative 3 just becomes positive. So it's 3/5 x. 25 divided by negative 5 is a negative 5. So we have 3/5 x. 3/5 is greater than 1/2. So we can stop here. The answer is A. We have another one of those, which picture matches the description given, okay? So, Larry started riding his bike at a rapid pace, okay? We could already eliminate C because C has his time going up and his total distance going down. Okay? He got tired and stopped to rest. Again, stop to rest means it flattens out. As you can see, D has no flat places. Okay. When he started again, he was going at a slower rate. So he's still going up, but now the slope is not quite as steep. So the answer is A. As you can see here, he's going at a pretty good, fast pace. He stops here, and now he's going slower. In this problem, you're comparing 2 functions. The first one is given to you as an equation, 3x plus 4. So you already know that the slope is 3, and your y-intercept, which is b, is equal to 4. That means it's 0, 4. The second one is given to you in the table. So once again, you have to find the y-intercept. Okay? One way to graph this out and find out where it crosses the y-axis at. As you can see here, there's some pretty large numbers we'll be graphing all day. So the best way to do this is, again, find your slope and then plug in for your x-intercept. Again, I'm just going to do my slope formula. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So I have 32 minus 17 over 5 minus 2. 32 minus 17 is 15. 5 minus 2 is 3. So your slope is 5. So again, you need to take one of your points. I'm going to use 217 because those are the lowest numbers. All the numbers are positive, so I want the smallest ones possible. So y equals mx plus b. I'm going to plug in my x, my y, and my slope using this first point right here. So y is 17, our slope is 5, and our x is 2. So 17 equals 5 times 2 plus b. 17 equals 10 plus b. To find b now, all I got to do is subtract 17 minus 10. So b is 7. Okay? And my first point, b was 4. Now it's 7. So the distance between the three is C, 3. Here we have a rectangle and it's going to be dilated by a scale factor of 1/2. That means the distance between all the points is going to be cut by 1/2. Okay? Since this is a rectangle and all the lines are either horizontal or vertical, all I have to do is count my points or units in between each point, find the perimeter, and then shrink it down by 1/2. So, my new point of w prime x prime, if I count 1, 2, 3, 4, so it'll be 4 times 1/2, which equals 2. So the distance between my new w prime x prime is 2. Between my new x prime and y prime, this vertical line here, it is 2 already. So 2 times 1/2 equals 1. Now, since it's a rectangle, I already know what the opposite sides are going to be. Z prime, y prime is going to be 2 because it is opposite of wx. W prime, z prime is going to be 1 because again, it is opposite of x, y. When I add all my units together, the perimeter, 2 plus 1 plus 2 plus 1, that gives me 6 units, which is B. Here we have two parallel lines, L and N, cut by transversal x and t. They want you to find the value of x, which is here. Okay? If you remember, parallel lines cut by a transversal make certain types of angles. Vertical, corresponding, alternate interior, alternate exterior. Okay? Line X sits upon line T and line L. Line T is here. The line L is here. M is parallel to line M, so I'm going to highlight that as well. So if you just look at those lines, 60 is here. We call 60 and the angle is just opposite of it, alternate interiors. They are congruent. So this angle here is 60, that means this one is 60 as well. Since x is right next to 60, that means these two are supplementary. If you will recall, supplementary means it must add up to be 180. So we're going to do 180 minus 60, that's 120. So x is 120 with this c.